Welcome back aboard Blurred Force One with your boy Mo, and today I'm reviewing Quantum Leap Season 2, Episode 5. It's entitled One Night in Koreatown, come to you from NBC, and it's streaming on Peacock. So, what did I think about it, and should you be watching? And before we get into this review, get down there, hit like on this video. Well, you know what? Quantum Leap, I just say one thing about them. They're just always really playing it safe, never really trying to address big major issues or anything like that. They're just always, just being real, easygoing. Because obviously, talking about the LA riots and race relations and stuff like that, that's the thing to do, not ruffle feathers. Now, admittedly, the LA riots took place, over 30 years ago, but because this show seems to be very LA focused for obvious reasons, and because they're very intent on touching on a lot of like real deal issues, kind of covering the Korean community and the black community and their kind of tension leading up to the LA riots was the focus of this episode on One Night in Koreatown. Ben, he is Korean himself, or Korean American himself, but he leaps into the body of a young man, an 18-year-old young man in Koreatown who's works for his father, who owns a shoe store in the hood, if you will. And it's literally the day of the LA riots, the Rodney King verdict's coming out. And fortunately, he's got magic that's got his back this time. And this actually, funny enough, this is also a magic-centric episode also, where we get to see a little bit more of him outside of being the leader. And, we see that he is with Beth Calavici, who is, of course, Al's, widow. They are in a romantic relationship together, living together and all that. They've apparently been together for I want to say a year. And this is their first date anniversary or something like that. And, so Magic's in there helping out Ben during this time. They're trying to get him through the day. And Ben finds out he's a, young man is trying to go to the army, but his dad wants his older brother to take over the family business. And his dad's very closed-minded, very, set in his ways, and also, let's call it like it is, a little racist, against black people. And we later on find out that the older son is kind of wanting to go do his own thing. He wants to start a shoe line and everything like that. And he's got a friend, and it looks like it's kind of sketchy that he's trying to give a box to his friend. And we later on find out that it's more above board, that they're trying to design shoes and all that other stuff. So a lot of this, at least as far as Ben is concerned, is he's got to keep the father from being killed in the riots. And because apparently a lot of terrible things happen to the family as a result of that. And also he's got to keep, he finds out later, he's got to keep the black friend of his older brother alive also. And, more or less save the store or what have you. And so what's interesting about this is that, obviously Ben's from a later time. I mean, he would have been, a teen or a young teen at the time of the LA riots. But also, he's a man of our time. So he's pretty much is just like, his dad's, he's tripping. He's just, he's being racist for no good reason. But also he's the son of, he's a son of Korean. I don't know if his parents were immigrants, but they definitely apparently spoke Korean because he could speak Korean. And so he understands the whole patriarchal thing and, the importance of first sons and all that other stuff. And also he wants to honor the older brother who wants to kind of do his own thing, doesn't necessarily want to own the store or anything like that. And so he and the older brother are both, harboring secrets that are basically going to disappoint the father, who is a first generation immigrant and worked really hard to get, them where they are. The older brother is his friend. He's, I don't want to say he's got a chip on his shoulder, but he's definitely not feeling the dad who's just basically treating him like a criminal. And all of this stuff, the entirety of the episode, we're getting back to magic, triggers him basically because he's had bad experiences, run-ins with police. And so when he sees basically the black friend basically almost getting killed or whatever by the police, really triggers him to about something that happened in his past. So a lot of people who may complain about this show, talking about the heavy-handed messaging and whatnot in this show, and I always contend like it's heavy-handed for a reason, because dum-dums that can't read between the lines can't subtlety is lost on the people who are willfully ignorant or just intentionally not trying to see what's up. And so they have to sort of be a little heavy-handed, and in that sense, even as heavy-handed as it is, Magic's his whole story about he and a friend basically getting beat on by racist cops, when they were on leave from the army. It's real. That's basically, it's a real deal thing, and it may sound like it's really exaggerated or dramatized, but it's not. Things like that did happen, and so this story pretty much has to put that on display, because it isn't just enough that Ben is experiencing the LA riots from the Korean perspective. In part, the black perspective has to be given some light also, and Magic's his prior experience in the 60s does give him some perspective and, let's say, PTSD from that. And so that really kind of changes the trajectory of the story, because we find out that Magic is he's a recovering alcoholic, and he basically went into the bottle because Ben's disappearance. And Beth Calvici, she's pretty much helped him out of it, and is worried that he may be close to relapsing because of all the pressure going on this particular leap. Ben, as usual, he's doing his thing. He's trying to mend fences, keep people together with the help of Ziggy and Magic, giving him information. He's doing whatever he can to keep everyone alive, and more or less he does accomplish that. His real importance in this episode is basically building a bridge between the father and the young black man, young black friend, and also basically opening the father's eyes to the fact that his expectations and his desire to hold every one of his sons close and keep them nearby and everything, and the family business, maybe it's not as important as kind of letting them go off and kind of forge their own paths. This becomes into stark, his whole kind of closed-minded viewpoint comes into stark relief when you see he has a verbal confrontation. And mind you, this is after the riot has passed by. They've been in the store, the friend, he was there, weathering with them and helping them prepare, all that other stuff. And even in the midst of all that, being upset about the riot and everything like that, and having some closed-minded views, he basically writes off the friend as like nothing. And the friend just kind of reads him right back, talking about, getting into, good schools and all the other stuff, that he's just looking at him as a black kid with problems as opposed to as a person. And that leads to an accidental shooting of the older brother. And that, of course, is it breaks the dam of, prejudice. They're in a common situation, and the father sees everything that the friend is willing to do to help to save his son's life, and to the point where when police look like they're probably gonna shoot him for trying to steal, I guess you could say, an ambulance, the father instead goes out and stands in the way of them. And so it's solidarity between two people that before weren't at all getting along, and in fact were very much against each other. And they both said some pretty tough things in this to each other, and so now that mutual respect comes about. And I love that, just because that's it. Sometimes that's really all it kind of takes. It just takes, recognizing common humanity and common stories, and just that, the book and the cover aren't necessarily the same, same thing. So it was a really nice moment, and of course everything works out for the best. But I did like at the end where, you know, Magic pretty much is just like, hey, um, I'm having problems. I was an alcoholic while you were gone, and I'm still struggling, and all that other stuff. And just sharing that with Ben to remind us that yes, while Ben has his problems, and it's really important that he's on these jumps, these leaps or whatever, that there's life still going on outside, and that he can still be involved with it because he is able to communicate with them, and he can still care about their lives, that he isn't the center of attention, even if he is the center of the project. I do love that because Ben's connection to everyone else is super important now because, Addison is kind of not in the picture, and, she's struggling to try to figure her way out as well. And they've all kind of got to figure out how they move forward. So overall, had a good time with this episode. I thought it was really important, the things it said. And of course, as usual, just Ben being the best leaper. We hope that he will get home, that they'll figure things out. But as long as he's out there, he's really making a difference. And big ups for giving Magic a spotlight there. It's good to see some of these characters get a lot more time on screen. So anyway, those are my thoughts on this episode. What did you guys think about it? What did you think about what I had to say? Get down to the comment section, leave your thoughts there. And of course, you can always hit me up, supernotfunnyshow@gmail.com or at supernotfunny. It's supernotfunnys1 on Twitter and supernotfunnyshow on Threads and Instagram and TikTok. Anywhere you want to reach me, you know what to do. Hit me up. And while you're down there, hit like on this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. All that good stuff helps to grow the channel, helps more people to see videos just like this. All right, thanks for joining me. Come back next week. We're going to talk about episode 6 of Quantum Leap Season 2. Till then, I've been Mo, your commenter extraordinaire on all things pop culture. And I'll see you guys on the other side of the thread. Peace.